Throw it up. Start twerking like Miley. Oh yeah.
Hey everybody, I'm back with the unboxing. This is the Vivo X21. So this is just like the Vivo V9 that I tested about a month and a half ago, except it's more high-end because it has a fingerprint reader under the screen. So I said I was very busy the last couple of days ago, and I am. So in addition to this, I'm also testing this, the Planet Gemini. This is really cool. It's like a little mini laptop. So I'll have a video on this in a couple of days maybe, but right now I'm going to focus on the Vivo X21. Okay, so the packaging, it's quite a bit nicer than the Vivo V9, which had a more basic white box kind of packaging. As you see right here, Vivo, it's an official sponsor of the FIFA World Cup, Russia 2018. So you have this is a US plug or a China plug. It's quite interesting in China right now. They use both the US style plug and also the round ones. So they're like the only country I know of that uses two different sets of plugs. And these are earbuds. They look pretty nice. How do you open these? Okay, so the shape looks a little bit unique, like a little bit like alien shaped. I'll put these to the side. So these must be USB-C headphones because I don't think this phone has a headphone jack. I'm gonna put the phone to the side first and then open the rest. This is a nice box. So you do get a case of the phone. Oh, it's a nice. The case is also a little bit nicer than the case that came in the Vivo V9. The Vivo V9 came with a soft jelly case. This one, it's a little bit harder. This is a plastic case. Then you have SIM ejector tool and some papers. And then you have right here the USB-C cable, I believe. Okay, now I think Vivo phones, there's nothing for me to peel because they wrap it like this, so then once I open it, the phone's already naked. Because I usually, if you see my unboxing, I really enjoy peeling off that cover. But nope, yep. Oh no, this phone still uses USB-A, so it's not a USB-C. My apologies, USB-A. So you put the two phones side by side. You have the Vivo V9 on the right and the Vivo X21, and they look almost exactly the same. You put them side by side. Yeah, almost exactly the same. So I guess the only real difference is the under-screen fingerprint reader. Except, and the Vivo V9 has a headphone jack. Vivo V9's on the right, that the X21 does not. So this is the SIM tray, I believe. Yeah, the back looks very similar, except obviously no fingerprint. So anyway, I'm gonna power on the phone and then I'll be back with my hands on. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go through the setup process here and then register my fingerprint just to show you guys how to register a fingerprint under the screen. This is my first time using a device with an under-screen fingerprint reader too. Like, I've read about this plenty of times already, but this is my first time with hands-on. Okay, so you see the default language is Chinese instead of in Filipino, like the Vivo V9. That's because this phone is meant for the China market, but I'm gonna go to English and then go to US English. Wait, I don't even see US English. Huh, that's interesting. Pretty cool that this phone just doesn't have US English on here, because you know how Americans usually think they're like #1 and the center of the universe and that everything kind of should be their way. This phone is like, hey, screw that, we don't even have US English. So I'll go with Hong Kong English, which is British English. So British English is if you're not familiar, the spelling's a little bit different sometimes. Like they add, British people add U to certain words, like color in British is COLOUR, but in American English it's just COLOR. And there's also a lot less Z in British English. They use S, and also Z in I think British people call it Z. So yeah, just difference here and there, and also the words they use. Like instead of waiting in line, like an American would say, you say waiting in a queue. And then an elevator in America, it's a lift in the UK. Okay, I'm gonna set up my. Okay, so I've just set up my Google account and my Wi-Fi. Here we go. So we'll add fingerprint. I gotta set up my PIN first. Okay, here you go. So I think you just put your finger on here. So you notice how the light lights up right here underneath. So you have to move. So your registering is just the same, except you can tell it's a little bit slower already, because you know how on a normal fingerprint sensor it picks it up a lot faster. Okay, adjust your grip. Personally, I think this tech might still be a year or two away, because from what I've read on this phone, and also the Huawei Mate design Porsche design Mate, the fingerprint reader under the screen is just not that fast. And you know, ultimately, speed is still important. So I'm not gonna add my face for now. Next. Congratulations, we are done. So first thing I'm gonna do is change this damn back button to the left side, because that's where the back button should be. So that's one of my problems with Vivo phones, is that the settings, you can't search for settings. So like a lot of times I'm just in here trying to find something. Actually, I'll order gestures keys. I'm gonna change the gestures back. So right now, and I'm gonna go with the swiping gesture too. So let's check out the fingerprint reader really quick. Oh, okay, that's not too slow. That's okay. Wow. Let's try again on the table. Yeah, so that took a little bit longer, but this is not bad at all. I thought it would be a lot slower actually. But you do have to press it kind of hard, I think. Actually, no, I'm wrong on that too. You can just put your finger on it. Oh, this is really damn cool. So you look at the display, I can't see the embedded fingerprint reader underneath. Although I believe if you go out into the sun and you have like an all black background, you'll be able to see it a little bit, but definitely not a deal breaker so far. This is really cool. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna play with the phone. I'll be back with hands on. Hey guys, I'm back. So I'm gonna make this video really short, because this phone is very similar to the Vivo V9. In fact, if you put the two phones like this next to each other, you can't tell the difference at all. Like, they're virtually the same hardware, except of course the phone on the left, the X21, has an under screen fingerprint reader, whereas the V9 has a fingerprint reader on the back. They look exactly the same. Hardware, there's slight difference. So I'll just explain the hardware difference really quick. So on the X21 you have 6 gigs of RAM. V9 you have only 4 gigs of RAM. Battery size. The V9's a little bit bigger, 3260 versus 3200 here. I suspect battery size is a little bit bigger on this phone, because this phone has to put a fingerprint reader under the screen, hence which takes away from a little bit of space. The chipset, the X21 has a slightly newer Snapdragon 660 compared to the V9's Snapdragon 621. But to be honest, both phones kind of move about the same, not much difference. This phone's a little bit smoother because of 6 gigs of RAM. That's only when you push things. Otherwise, go on Instagram, Facebook, exactly the same. The camera is actually a little bit different in terms of specs. The V9 surprisingly has a technically more powerful camera. It has a 16 megapixel shooter with a 5 megapixel telephoto lens and a 24 megapixel selfie camera. The The X21 only has a 12 megapixel selfie camera, so it's half as many pixels. And on the back, the main camera is only 12 megapixels instead of 16. But truth be told, I can't tell the difference. I think 24 megapixels for a selfie camera, it's overkill. I took this selfie here. This is a 12 megapixel selfie camera. I think it looks good. Apologies for the hair. I just woke up and stepped outside, so I didn't even comb my hair. And otherwise photos look very impressive. I think even though this is technically a camera with less megapixels, you're not gonna see the difference. This is a very strong camera still. Strong camera for a Vivo device that's mid-range. So that's about it in terms of the design. The biggest difference again is this under-screen fingerprint reader. Other than that, I would say is virtually the same phone. Performance is virtually the same. So that's why I'm gonna make this video short, because if you really want to learn more about this phone, like all the benchmarks and photo samples and stuff, you can just watch my video on the Vivo V9. I'll have a link in the description below. So speaking of that, I lost my channel for about 10 days due to some fluke, and now I got it back. But as a result, all my old videos no longer are listed on my channel. So if you want to watch my old videos, you have to manually search for them. You have to search for my name, Ben's Gadget Reviews, and then the phone you're looking for. If you just click on my name and go through my videos, I don't think my old videos show anymore, which it kind of sucks, but not a big of a deal. So back to the X21. So I really love this design. Just check out how bezel-less this is. This might be the most bezel-less phone yet. In fact, when you look at a phone like this and then you look at the Huawei P20 Pro, again, I mentioned this during my video for the Huawei P20 Pro. I'm annoyed that the Huawei P20 Pro has such a big chin. Like, you look at the chin, it's kind of annoying that the P20 Pro has a bigger chin. This chin is about as slim as it gets other than the Apple's iPhone 10. This is slimmer than even the LG G7, which I don't have a device on me right now, but I will be getting one soon. So I have Nova Launcher running on this phone right now. That's why it looks so damn clean, because otherwise without Nova Launcher, this is Vivo's default software, Fun Touch, and I'm not a big fan of it. Like, the icons look a little bit iOS-like, and then stuff like all the feet, there's no app drawer, all that. It's a little bit annoying. So I put Nova Launcher on it, it works fine, and the phone looks great. I must mention though that there's a bug. So you notice one of the things I love about Vivo phones is this swiping gestures, meaning you don't have to use traditional Android buttons anymore. I'll show you how it works. So you swipe right here to go back, or you swipe right here to go home, and then to bring up overview, app overview, you swipe up and you hold. So this is like copy from the iPhone 10. So I like this gesture a lot. I think swiping gesture is the future of getting around phones. Unfortunately, on X21, the swiping gestures do not work. You do have an option to do it, so you go navigation gestures, but you can't set it up because the fingerprint reader underneath the screen is getting in the way. I'll show you. So you can swipe back, it works. You can swipe up to go home, it works. You can even swipe here to bring up this control center, it works. But right here, when you swipe up to bring up all the apps, you have to swipe up and hold. So I'll show you the action again here on the V9. The action is you swipe up and you hold to do this. You cannot do this on this phone because it's not registering. So I'm 99.9% sure the reason it's not registering is because there's a fingerprint reader underneath the screen that's getting in the way. So this is a bug in this software, because this phone gives us the option to go for these navigation gestures, but one of them does not work. I'm not sure if this is, actually this should be fixable via a software update. Vivo just has to account for the fact that this part of the screen is probably not registering touches. So you have to exit out of this instruction every time. That means you cannot use swipe gestures. You have to use buttons, which I have, I don't mind mostly, except when you're watching Instagram's full stories now. You know that's my thing, right? I like Instagram stories because it fills up the whole page. Now there's this row of buttons down below that kind of blocks the image. And that sucks, because imagine if these buttons are gone and then this entire display fills it up. I'll show you on the Huawei P20 Pro. I just think it looks a lot more immersive and cool when you can do stuff like that. So you see on my Huawei P20 Pro, the stories fill up the entire screen because there's no buttons down below. So this unfortunately really gets in the way. I'm surprised that that fingerprint reader got in the way of the swiping, because it doesn't get in the way of touching. When I type on this, I can type on this keyboard just fine. I can type full speed. Yeah, so the area where the fingerprint reader would be, which is right here, it's sensitive to touch, but just not sensitive to swipe, I guess. Okay, so now you know what we gotta do. We gotta do my usual K-pop video test, just to test the screen and the sound. So let's find a good video. So people always ask me why I use K-pop videos. Okay, I admit part of it is because they look so damn good in the videos, but also because these K-pop videos are not copyright protected. Because if I go to, say, a Beyonce video, or say a Green Day, or like, I don't know, like Nicki Minaj video, and I play it for more than like 3 seconds, I'll get a notification from YouTube saying, hey, this is a copyright infringement, you have to take down your video. So I can't use any real American pop music. I have to use Korean music, because Koreans are not as strict with these things. So thank you, K-pop. So right now we're testing volume at 60%. So this is an LCD panel, but looks good. Max volume. Single speaker grill, so you can muffle it, but you actually feel a little bit of bass still, even at max volume, so no distortion. Looks good, except there's a this phone doesn't let you expand the video full screen, which sucks, because you have these let me go to the area of the video that's wide. So you notice that there's these giant black bars on the right and left. You cannot stretch the video to fill it up, which sucks because this is such an immersive screen. Again, I want my videos to fill full screen. So that's about it. The camera, as I showed you, is pretty solid. If you want to see more photo samples, check out my Vivo V9 video. I think this phone, it's like $140 US more than the V9. I'm not sure it's worth getting over the V9 because as cool as this fingerprint scanner is, it's still a little bit of a gimmick because the fingerprint reader on the back works perfectly fine, and this phone has a really fast face unlock, so I don't see... So having a fingerprint reader on the front under the screen, the only good useful situation is if you work with your phone on your desk a lot like this and you don't want to have to pick up your phone every time, so you just put your finger on it and open. So that's the only benefit. Otherwise, in real world usage, the back fingerprint reader is still faster than the under screen. And also, earlier I was using this phone outside and it was very sunny, and when it's really sunny you can't see the screen that much, and I couldn't find the fingerprint reader area because you have to know exactly where it is. And I think I pressed into it a couple of times like off, like an inch off to the side, and then it didn't register, and then it locked me out. It says you have to use your pin because your fingerprint reader did not pick up correctly. So that means if I'm outdoors a lot and I'm using this at the beach or something, this might be an issue. Unless I guess after I use this phone for a week or two, I will just know where to put my finger. But right off the bat, if you're using this phone under the sun, it's a bit hard to see this part, which tells you where to put your finger. But when you're indoors, it's great. I'm still amazed at how fast this is. So in the future, I'm hoping phones will just get rid of all the bezels, put the fingerprint reader underneath here, and also give me some type of secondary unlock, such as a fingerprint reader on the back too, or face unlock, like a real face unlock, like the iPhone X's face unlock. So that would be better, because I don't think it's 100% reliable to use under screen. Because I also worry, what if I drop my phone and crack the screen right here? If I crack the screen here, will I not be able to use a fingerprint reader anymore? So that's something that's worth thinking about. As it is now, the Vivo V21, it's a very awesome prototype device. And at 450 US is really affordable. I think, you know, look at this display, it looks brilliant. So if you want a big screen and you want something futuristic, 450, good deal. But then I think this phone might be a better deal at $100 less without the under screen. And then also there's a OnePlus 6 coming, which should look like this and may even have the under screen reader. So a lot of good phones coming out Really exciting time to be a gadget geek. Okay, I said I would keep this video short, but it still ended up going 20 minutes. Damn, I'm sorry guys, I talked to you that much. Thanks for watching.
Blow it up, start twerking like Miley. Oh.